الحمد لله الحمد لله الذي ألف بالإسلام بين قلوب المؤمنين وأوجب الاتحاد وحرم التفرق في كتابه المبين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله هدى من يشاء إلى صراط المستقيم، وأشهد أن سيدنا محمد رسول الله خير داع إلى طريق القويم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الذين تهذبت نفوسهم وتهبت قلوبهم فكانوا سبت المنصورين. أما بعد، فيا عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي أولا بتقوى الله تعالى وطاعته. That is, all praise is due to Allah, who has united the hearts of the believer in Islam and has made it an obligation to remain united, and has made it forbidden to become separated in this clear book. I bear witness that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah, who guides to the straight path whom He wills, and I bear witness that our leader Muhammad is His messenger and the best caller to the way that is straight. O Allah, send your prayers and your peace upon our leader Muhammad and upon his family and upon his companions, whose hearts were united and whose souls were educated, so that they became victorious leaders. And what follows thereafter, O believers of Allah, I advise you as well as I advise myself, to first have the proper regard for Allah and thereafter be obedient to Him. Dear believers, I greet you with the universal greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be with you. This week, dear believers, we want to look at the attribute of Al-Jaleel. Al-Jaleel, which means the majestic. And when we think about the majesty or Allah being majestic or something being majestic, it means it's being above all things, having dignity, having beauty, having all these qualities. And so Allah says that He is Al-Jaleel. And so as we look at these to get an understanding conceptually, or to get some kind of idea of what is this Al-Jaleel, we think about the story of the Prophet Moses. And as the Prophet Moses, he's past the period where he's left Egypt. He's gone through those trials and tribulations. So this is past his growing up, all those different things. He's out with his people. He's out wandering. He's out looking for guidance. He's out just trying to figure out what is the next thing, where is he going to be. Now, in hindsight, we know his story, but he didn't know that story. He was living it. And so there was a point when he went up on the mountain and he began to have a conversation with Allah. He began to have a conversation with God. And he was asking God to see him. He told God that he wanted to see him, and he was afraid that he was told that he couldn't stand it, that he couldn't take the enormity or the majesty or everything that was Allah. And so in the story it talks about where a mountain was crushed, and Allah said that he would be like that would be the situation. Like in the story, it goes that the majesty of Allah was so great that He could crush a mountain. It was so great that He could crush this mountain. And so as we think about in our lives how sometimes we question our Creator. How can I believe something? How can I believe in something? How can I trust something that I cannot see? How can I put all my faith, all my hope in something that I cannot tangibly have there in front of me? That I see the benefits from it. I see everything that comes from it. I see other people being helped. I've seen times when I've been helped, but still something comes up and it's like I just want to see it. Moses just wanted to see Allah, but just the majesty, Al-Jaleel, the majesty of Allah, caused the mountain to crumble, caused it to fall down. called it to no longer be this firm thing that stood up, that could be seen from miles away. The majesty of Allah is such that when we fully accept it, the fact that we may not see it, but we accept it for what it is based off of everything that we have in front of us, everything that we have experienced that showed us that God is real, that Allah is real. It takes this thing that's firm. It takes this person that was so strong and so sure of themselves, and then it crumbles. It brings him to his knees. It makes him fall down into prostration. It makes him put his head down and ask for forgiveness, because the weight, the majesty of the Creator was finally realized. Just like that mountain realized the majesty of Allah, and it crumbled and it fell down low. And inshallah, that's what happened to us, dear believers, when we take a step back and we start to appreciate. We start to notice all the things that our Creator, Al-Jaleel, the Majestic, has done for us. We will be like that mountain, and we will be brought low. We will be brought to our knees. We will perform the sajda. We will express our form of worship to our Creator, because we have accepted Allah's majesty. We were no longer hard-hearted. We were no longer turning away from who our Creator is, what our Creator possesses, what our Creator can do. We will be grateful and we will be appreciative. Allah is Al-Jaleel. أقول قبل استغفر الله لي ولكم والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على آل إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك على آل إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم. So, dear believers, Allah is Al-Jaleel. Another prophet that we want to look at is this story of the Prophet Ibrahim. And we know that through his life, he went on this search. He not necessarily the same kind of wandering that Moses did, but he kind of was on a path of trying to find who he was to worship. And during this time that he was trying to find who he was to worship, he began to look at creation. He began to look at the creation of Allah. And he would see these wondrous things. He would see the trees. He would see the birds. He would see everything in creation. He would see the sunset. And he would see the sunrise. And he would see all this beauty, what we would consider majestic. Like, look at this lovely skyline. Look at the way the colors change, the beauty that's in nature. And he began to wonder. Prophet Abraham began to wonder, who should I worship? All these things that are here for me, all these things that benefit me. I have to thank someone. I have to thank something for this creation. I have to thank someone for the majesty that I'm able to witness. So he turned to the stars. And there were many of them. They were spread far and wide. And he said, this must be my Lord. This must be who I should worship. So he began to turn to the stars and ask the stars, and begin to have the energy that was for worshiping his Creator. He dedicated to the stars. And then The next evening, or maybe sometime later, he saw the moon. Now the stars were bright, and there were so many of them. But then here was this moon. It was closer. It was larger. It seemed like it had more effect because of the size of it and the nearness of it. That this thing had to have had more effect on the world around him, on the land, on everything around Moses. So he took that impetus, or that inclination to worship. He took it from the stars and he dedicated it to the moon. And he looked at that moon, as glorious as it is. And he's like, this is what I will worship. This is what I worship. I worship this object. And so then came the day. And everything, the stars began to disappear. And this moon began to disappear. And there was this giant light. There was this giant flaming light that you could feel the heat. And he knew that it caused the things to grow in the ground, the shrubbery, the vegetation grew because of this sun. It gave it life. It gave heat. It made the stars, it made the moon go away. So it was so powerful, it was so majestic and so bright that the Prophet Abraham, he said, this is my Lord, this is who I should worship. And he turned his attention to the sun. But then, as we know, when our focus truly isn't on our Creator, these false ideas, these false notions can easily be pushed aside. And so this majestic sun, as the day went on, and it was at its zenith, it was at its highest point, it began to move. And it got lower into the horizon, and lower into the horizon, and lower into the horizon, and the darkness began to rise up again. And that sun that made everything go away, that made the cloud, that made the stars go away, that made the moon go away, was gone again. And these same clouds and these same moon was still there. And so logic struck the Prophet Ibrahim. Logic that told him that he can't worship creation. And he got this thinking. He arrived at this conclusion. He allowed logic to arrive at its conclusion. And he said, surely the one who created me shall guide me. Because he realized that the sun, the stars, and the moon, the creation of God, was not worthy of worship. Only God. And so we think about how it is that we think that we want to see our Creator. We want to see this one that is giving us so much. This majestic one, Al-Jaleel, that gives us so much, and we want to see him. I ask you, dear believers, how long can you stare at the sun? How long can you stare into the creation of your Lord without injuring your vision, without blinding yourself, without causing yourself irreparable damage, because your body is not made to handle just that? And we can look throughout the galaxy, we can look into space and see larger stars than our son. So let's be like dear Prophet Moses as we think about Al-Jaleel, majestic. Surely the one who created me shall guide me. Surely the one who created that sun that blinds me when I look at it shall guide me. Surely the one who creates these other gas giants, these other flaming balls, shall guide me. So I don't need to see my creator to know that he's real. Allah says that he is Al-Jaleel, the majestic. And I have to trust him at his word, because surely the promise of Allah is true. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له بذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين الحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.